hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Let the speakers move.
Go!
I want to recommend very highly Koilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Koilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Koilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And you know, with Koilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Koilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Let the speakers move.
Go!
Welcome back to our program, the Canvas Climate Agri-Tech Innovation Challenge. This is session 2, whereby we are going to feature the Faculty of Agriculture, whereby we are going to look into the agriculture space and see what the youths have for us today. My name is Dustin Momanyi, the founder of the Global Climate Innovators and the Kenya Climate Innovation Challenge. So I would like to introduce my panelists so that we can move on smoothly.
Hello, my name is Michelle Nashipai and I am excited to be here and to present my idea to you all. Thank you.
I'm Brady Moya, the founder of Lead Farm Consultancy Hub. It's based in County.
Good evening, I'm Diana Akini, excited to be here.
Good evening.
welcome back to session 2 of the Campus Agritech Climate Innovation Challenge. My name is Justin Momanyi, the founder of the Global Climate Innovators and the Kenya Climate Youth Corps, whereby our main theme is to nurture young climate innovations under the various platforms. So today we are running a challenge for the Faculty of Agriculture, whereby we want to see what the youth have in their minds for us today. So we are going to start with a brief introduction from my fellow panelists so that we can move on smoothly.
Hello, I'm Michelle Nashipai, and I'm excited to be here and to present my idea to you all. I'm taking Bachelor of Science in Agriculture at Egerton University. I'm in year 3 right now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Brevin Muya, the founder of Lead Farm Consultancy Hub. It's based in Makueni County, pursuing agricultural economics. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Diana Akinyi, pursuing BSc Agriculture at Egerton. I'm the founder of Smart Soil 360, an idea that will be presented to you soon, and I'm happy to participate in this. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sifakea, a student from the Faculty of Agriculture, taking a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Business Management. I'm the co-founder of the idea Digital Agriculture, Finance and Natural-Based Solution, and I'm happy to present it to you soon. Thank you.
Moving on, the Campus Agritech Climate Innovation Challenge is a challenge with a vision to provide a platform for students to co-create and showcase their climate innovations. This is an idea that started last year, whereby we moved around the country, we moved into other universities, and then it mainly was focusing on curriculum members of the society, and we saw it well to bring it back into our university, which is Egerton University. As a graduate from the Faculty of Environment and Resource Development, we saw it well to start it from there. That's why last week we had the Faculty of Environment and Resource Development doing their presentations, whereby we had a very wonderful presentation. So today we saw as well we could move this challenge into another step by bringing on board the Faculty of Agriculture, and then by the end of the month we should have gone around all the other faculties so that we can finish up with a grand summit by the end of October here in Egerton University. So this challenge starts by identifying youth who are interested in innovating and coming up with other ideas in their own fields. For this reason, we chose the agriculture because it's our backbone as the Kenya economy. The highest percentage in Kenya is supported by agriculture, whereby we look into both small-scale and large-scale farmers, and then as well per household. We have so many challenges around this. So this challenge is a very good incubator for us, and to everybody seated behind, do not feel left behind, because this session is ending up with a grand mentorship session whereby all our ideas will be developed into proposals. Maybe if yours is already a proposal, it should move next into the piloting stage, and maybe we might connect you with other partners elsewhere. So as we move on, we would like to go deeper into the ideas presented by our panelists. But first of all, we would like to hear from the audience, whereby we should give a brief introduction and the idea you have, because we are all innovators, and from the call which had 60 students, we had 60 innovations, and because of time and a limited chance, we cannot all present them here. That's why the top 4 managed to be in the panelists group. So my audience, please, if you are near the mic, start by your name and stating the title of your innovation.
Good evening. Good evening. So my name is David Nungwiri Biro finalist pursuing agricultural economics. My innovation is about Agridara, that is agricultural development and rural advancement. It is basically involved in the industry in Kinango, that is Nyandarua County.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rosemary Natuke. I'm a student. I'm undertaking agricultural economics. My idea is organic agriculture and biofertilizers. My idea deals with focusing in organic agriculture, whereby we see the importance of organic agriculture and the use of biofertilizers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wangari Njuguna, taking agribusiness management. My idea is on digital livestock extension services, where we will build an app where we provide services to the farmers, to the livestock farmers, and also to the investors.
Hello, everyone. Hello everyone, my name is Emilio Moneki, pursuing agribusiness and management. So our project is on an app called CropShield. It is an AI-powered app on farmer resilience as a group. And these are our members,
Okay, I'm a group member. So my name is Steven Kagiri, pursuing a bachelor's degree in agribusiness management.
Hello everyone, my name is Evan Segon. I'm also a member, and we've come up with this app. So it will be AI powered, and it will be generating photos and offering services to the farmers.
Hi, I'm Kalbo Willen, the member of this group. I'm pursuing agriculture economics in the Faculty of Agriculture. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ewing Amoni Boniface, finalist doing bachelor's degree in agricultural economics. My idea is improving dairy traits in indigenous goats through artificial insemination to enhance milk production, livelihood and nutritional value added products in Turkana County. Basically, this idea seeks to upgrade the indigenous goats in Turkana County through AI to help address food insecurity, malnutrition and poverty. And the breed to be upgraded is the good ones like Sahanen, Togenmark or Alpine. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lucy Tisika. I'm pursuing bachelor's degree in agricultural economics. My idea is about Green Generation Initiative. The initiative is about tree planting, and my target is schools, where my initiative will be providing seedlings to ensure that we mitigate climate, to prevent global warming, which has adverse effect on agriculture, and also to improve soil health. As you all know, we have a problem of soil erosion. This will be important to improve the production of agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Kamau Gadungu, first year, pursuing degree, a Bachelor's of Science in Animal Science and Technology. My title of the project is Composting and Gasification Project, which will deal with converting gases produced in animal production system into a source of energy and fertilizers. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Losuru William from Faculty of Agriculture, pursuing Bachelor of Animal Science. My idea is bringing up with a poultry farm enterprise that will will definitely change the life of Turkana County. I'm from Turkana, as we see. So my idea is encompasses that poultry farming will provide proteinous part of food, thereby securing food and employing people from the Turkana County. Thank you.
Shalom all, my name is Masi Manjala, student from the Department of Animal Science. Mine was to present about the impact of azolla feed and rabbit weight gain and feed conversion. My objectives being to determine the effect of variable diet inclusion levels of azolla feed on weight gain in rabbits. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm Mary Magdalene Nanzala Wafula, as Stock 23. I join you today to observe and learn from the presentation.
I would like us to move on. We should come back to finish on that later. So on my right are my panelists who are innovators. They have their own ideas and I would like to give them a chance to explain whatever they have so that we may understand whatever they are doing and why they are doing them. So we should start this session from the far right.
Hello, my idea is on feed formulation. So, in Kenya, today, livestock farmers struggle to access independent feed formulation experts. The feed formulation experts available often work for big companies, and their advice are always tied to selling a certain product. So, my idea is to come up with a mobile app that livestock farmers can access, and we are going to connect them to independent feed formulation experts. Okay, in addition, what the mobile app is going to offer is real and ready information, feed formulation and nutritional analysis, plus localized advice based on feed formulation. Also, it's going to offer climate change, innovation, and that they are arising today. An example is how the seaweed from Australia is helping livestock farmers. When they feed their cows, it helps release, the methane into the atmosphere. So Kenyan farmers will be able to access such information through the mobile app. Another thing that the mobile app will be used to offer is pasture management and regenerative agriculture around pastures. Plus, it's going to connect one farmer to the next, where they're going to share their information from their experience. This is not what we get from this feed formulation. Right now, we have those feed formulation apps from independent feed formulation companies, but the impact is not felt to the livestock farmers. Okay, what I'm going to need from this program is mentorship and technical support to be able to bring this idea to life. Thank you. I'm going to take 2 or 3 questions related to this from the audience, please.
Should have a question session later. You should fully introduce your idea. So, if you are done with panelist number 1, let's move to panelist number 2.
Okay, at Lead Farm Consultancy Hub. Okay, I'm Brevin, and in Lead Farm Consultancy Hub we focus with the circular economy, where we enable to have a sustainable economy, where we produce poultry. There is waste management, and we have a model farm based in Makueni County. So, as the history of Makueni County is a dry land, and there is more waste in the farms like sacks. The poultry we have, so at the poultry waste, we are managing them using black soldier fly, where we produce organic fertilizer, which is used in the model farm. So we are not relying with synthetic chemicals. And on the sacks, the wastes, we are creating something, the seedling spots, where we have nursery, for the seedling nursery, where we produce trees. And we partner with schools where we give them trees. Then we want to have something, we advocating for the global warming. So, yes.
Move on to the next person.
Hello everyone. As stated earlier, I'm Diana Akinyi, and my innovation, I labeled it as Smart Soil 360. So at first, the innovation was about soil, tackling the problem of climate change. It influenced or it affected the soil in various ways. There was soil degradation, but then I came to realize that it should be accompanied by something else. So the thing that I thought of, the idea that came to mind was, our people started farming earlier. Agriculture didn't start yesterday. It has been there for generations. And the modernized ways of controlling pests and maybe dealing with climate issues like lack of moisture in the soil and other factors that limit crop production, they have been modernized in a way that the small-scale farmers are unable to get these resources that they need in order to get high-yield or quality crops. For example, we have the use of agrochemicals, the pesticides, the herbicides in controlling weeds and pests, just giving them a way of detecting the moisture trends and the soil-borne pests in our soils won't be enough because we have to nurture our crops. So the accompanying idea was to find a way of incorporating the traditional ways of managing such kind of crises like pests and diseases in our crops in a modernized way that can be adopted by many, since the Gen Zs are now adopting agriculture and we need to give them something that they can relate with. So my AI platform that I'm idealizing will give advisory to our farmers, and I'm majorly focusing on the small-scale farmers since they are our major producers. They are the ones who feed us most. It will give them advice on the weather patterns, and using the sensors, they know the amount of water that is in the soil that will guide in planting. But also, I am giving them an opportunity to idealize what they had before. Like you could hear others using ash, others using neem in controlling pests and diseases. So ash and chili were used in controlling pests like aphids and fungal diseases. Neem extracts were used in controlling pests. So how can I modernize this? So our app, majorly, my app, is going to sensitize or modernize this. Like for example, the use of neem extracts. It can be used in such a way that it is able to calculate the amount that you need. So our ancestors or the people who came before us just used to crush the seeds and let them soak in water, then they spray it. So for us, since we want precise results and we want calculated things, so it can be able to calculate the amount of neem extract you will need to control a certain pest. My idea was also censored by the environment. We are using more agrochemicals and it is affecting us in a way. Though it is gradual, but you can see the effects as at now. That is why we are here fighting climate change through sustainable practices. So if we adapt what our ancestors did, so that they can be able to feed a family of over 20 with the little knowledge they had from the practices they were using in the past. We only need to create a bridge between tradition and the modern technology. And we fill in that gap so that we continue serving Mother Nature justly and also keeping up with producing more quality crops and with higher yield, therefore fighting climate change and building our environment positively. Thank you.
Hello everyone. As I've introduced earlier, I'm Sifakea, being the co-founder of the IDEA Digital Agriculture, Finance and Natural-Based Solution. Hereby, we look about the climate change, which has become a critical issue recently over the years, global and within our country, Kenya. It happened that some year, we even hosted the Climate Change Forum in Nairobi, mostly discussing about what are we going to do, because our population keeps on growing each and every day, and now we need to feed this population. But now the question is, where are we going to extract or get food to feed these people? Generation comes, people lose interest in agriculture. Where is the fundamental of our health, our safety, and our existence? For you to give out an idea, you must get food, so that your mind also can get something that can make you think properly, so that you can come up with an idea. That means agriculture brings out all this together. Now, we depend on rural communities. Mostly they're the ones doing up the farming. The urbans depend on the rural communities for food. But then the issue is, the rural communities are the one lacking the digital platforms or the digital material that are required, necessary for them to get the required information. That is, they can use it in agriculture so that they can come up with the food that we require to feed out the population. Again, climate change being an issue, recently, some years back, it affects most people, and these people being affected by the climate change, you realize that they have the interest to adopt to this climate change and do climate resilient agriculture, but the issue is they don't have the information. Now, how do we help these people to get the information? We as the youth, we as the members, we as the co-founders, I came up and I realized that for us to make sure that this information reaches these people, then the issue is we have to think, where are we going to get the finance? So that to fund these people, the rural farmers, to bring out the ideas into reality. And how are they going to implement their idea? So it became the first problem that there is financial problem in climate smart agriculture being the problem. Again, concerning the issue of solving the climate change, you realize that most people, they don't have jobs outside there. So some communities, if you pay a visit, you realize that they do charcoal burning. Now, we destroy the diversity, and this is where we depend most for our rain-fed, because you realize most farmers depend on rain-fed agriculture. Now, the rain-fed agriculture, we understand that the nature and the biodiversity is the one to help us bring out that rain-fed. But then most people, they destroy up the trees that are supposed to act as to bring us rain. People destroy the trees. So how are we going to make sure these people understand this knowledge? We, as the members, I, personal, and including you and everyone who is not within us. But we have to understand that these people have to be nurtured with the information. They have to be educated on why should we not destroy the biodiversity. Because the nature itself is the one that can help us get that rain-fed, because we depend on rain-fed agriculture, and now we destroy the trees within us. So the people need to be educated. Now, how are we going to carry out this education to make sure that the local farmers, the local communities get the required knowledge about the trees, about the nature, so that they do not destroy it, so that the rain that we depend on, it should not be interfered with. We need education, and we need people to educate these people. So the people which are required to educate the local communities, also they require to be given something as stipend, because someone will spend a day and he or she has to be given at least a stipend for him or her to educate the local communities. Finance again become the challenge. Despite the fact that education is the challenge to the local farmers, but the finance again brings us the core challenges for everyone, because we need to surpass these ideas to everyone, so that to understand that when we make our nature to be enjoyable, then we are bringing ourselves an economy that is going to improve. If you look up the Kenyan economic, it mostly depends on the agriculture. 70% of the Kenya GDP comes from the agriculture. But now we don't understand how we're going to maintain this. I realize in 2022, we have been having issues on climate change, but nobody came up with idea or nobody came up with how is he or she going to help the farmers. You realize they expected rain to rain maybe from October, from November, but then rain came before that month. And then farmers, before they realized that they were late on their planting, on their farming, it was already late and they could not do any farming. In Nakuru, more specific in Njoro, 2022, they got nothing. And if they got something, then it was little compared to what they used to get before, because of the issue of climate change. Now, drought, floods has become an issue recently. You hear, and we have been seeing in our TVs, in our news every day, that some places are being affected by the drought, by floods. Now, in these places, how are we going to overcome these floods? The floods also, we have the people dealing with climate, and they have a little knowledge, or they have knowledge about what is going to happen next. How if people can get this information before that we are likely to receive some floods in this area, so they maintain their farms active, because flood has become an issue in that some farmers, their investment area is being swept by the floods, all of it. So at the end of the day, their yields is always taken away, and they don't get nothing from it. So if these farmers are going to be given these ideas, also they will understand how to overcome these issues of climate change. Concerning again about the issue of places having droughts areas. Now, the places within drought areas, we can come with ideas. We decide to install some drip pipes irrigation. Now this drip pipes irrigation can never be just taken anywhere. It needs funds. And before that fund, we need to come up with strategies after installing this pipes irrigation. Where are we going to get the water so that we do our farming, we do our agriculture? Now we need to do issues like dams, basins. So if people are going to create some dams and basins in many places, that means this water which we are going to harvest from the rainfed, during the drought season, at least the people can use the water to do their farming. Being there, if we consider so, we shall be able to solve and to help the local communities. Even the Kenyan GDP shall going to improve because most of us shall be able to get the food. We have been having food insecurity recently, and we shall even be talking of more food insecurity recently because the population keeps on growing and we need to feed, we need to eat. But then we don't think on where are we going to get this food. So we as the members, I personally including, we have to think on how are we going to help these farmers to get the information, how am I going to help myself. People claim that they don't have places to do their farming. If you look at EcoCity, EcoCity is a platform, or it's the farmers, they have come up with the idea that you don't have to farm using a very big platform of land. The EcoCity explain and it even motivate people that they can do farming just within a small area. But how are we going to make sure that this information reach the local farmers? We have to take the idea, we as the youth, we are the generation that we have to take it as a stakeholders to make sure that people have the ideas, they understand the information about the issue of, we solve about the issue of insufficient lands in areas, about the issue of lack of information, about the issue of digital agriculture information. We are the ones to motivate and to drive this economy, to drive the situation of agriculture, to make it into a better place. And if you consider so, that's why I came up with this idea, as indicated, being the topic as digital agriculture, finance, and natural-based solution. Because we have to look at where are we going to get the digital information, where are we going to get the finance, and how do we maintain and improve our nature. That's where we bring the natural-based solution, including the soil conservation, including the water conservation, including the rain harvested water, and all other things that may be included in natural-based to make sure that our biodiversity, our environment is good. And by doing so, we shall have solved the problem of food insecurity in a long term, and we shall also improve the employment to our fellow youths and our fellow people who they don't have jobs. If you have a land, then you are producing maybe potatoes or avocados, then it means you will be in need of people to help you, maybe farming, to remove, to harvest. So these people helping you in one or the other, they are being employed, and in one way or the other, you shall have employed yourself and you shall have employed other people. Thank you.
That was a wonderful presentation. To my panelist number one, I do not get clearly your creativity and the specificity or the problem understanding of the application you are doing.
The creativity is to offer ready information. My creativity is tied to offering ready information and to connect one livestock farmer to another livestock farmer and the feed formulation, independent feed formulation expert. I didn't get your second question.
So you talk about connectivity of one farmer to maybe the feed manufacturer or one farmer to another farmer?
Both. One farmer to the next and independent feed formulation expert, so that their advice are not tied to them selling a product, but to solve your feed formulation problem. Also, what I forgot to say, the issue of finance. When it comes to farmers seeking advice on feed formulation expertise, it's always expensive. So with this app, what we are going to do is to have a subscription model where farmers can subscribe to our mobile app and they'll have access to information 24/7 across the year. That's what we want to solve, the issue of finance and how it's expensive to access a feed formulation expert. Yeah, also one thing I forgot to say is with this app, it will be easier for farmers to be able to come up with a program or content on how you're going to feed your livestock, a sort of timetable, if I'm going to say, for lack of a better word. This is what you're going to offer to farmers. Yeah.
So what is your source of this data you are going to feed to the farmers?
We are going to get that from the feed formulation expert that you are going to have on board with us. And okay, to say this is my idea still in the ideation stage. As I progress with this idea, if I get lucky and get investors that are going to fund this, that we are going to bring more feed formulation, localized feed formulation expert, yeah, that we are going to connect with the farmers through the app.
So when you talk about the feed formulation expert, how are you going to measure the level of the skill this expert has so that he or she does not come with maybe, let me say, unqualified feeds for the livestock?
Okay, we are going to look at their certified, they have to have a certified thing that they are certified feed formulation expert from reputable agricultural universities and colleges. And we have so many feed formulation experts, so many. So we are going to put a way that you are going to know they are very professional, and they're very professional with what they are doing and what they are saying, and we are going to know how true their advice is. By some, I still don't. Still, we'll have to know. We'll know with the idea progress how we'll know the information is true.
You talked about the impact of the feeds already in the market, that they are not really quality. How do you measure this quality of these other feeds that you claim are not quality?
First, I didn't claim they are not quality. We have some quality feeds, but we also have some feeds that they're not good to the animals. But they are being pushed by some feed formulation experts from these multinational companies. So for us to know the quality and the standard, first we have the KEBS, we have various ways and various what do we call them? We have these various statutory boards that they verify the quality and they look. So what's this app and what's we are going to gain the quality information from our experts and from this government statutory board that they test for quality and standard measures.
So again, this is a new idea that you are going to bring to the local farmers. How do you ensure that they take in this idea and then scale it so that it may be sustainable for the long term?
Okay, we are going to connect them to the feed formulation expert in our app, and we are going to visit them regularly. As I said, we are going to be in touch with them throughout the year, and we are going to be sending regular visits to them to see if they are implementing the idea and the advice we have given them all through. Yeah.
Again, how do we ensure that this feed formulation program does not bring about other problems like waste generation? You mentioned something about methane, so I assume maybe in the formulation of some other feeds we may have some waste generation. How do you deal with that?
As I said earlier, we'll be giving them real-time advancement and something that has come up. You know, for the methane, we have some recent development, like the seaweed that's being used in Australia, where the farmers are using it to reduce the methane emission to the atmosphere. So they will be able to access that information through the app. And when we are doing the regular visit, we'll be able to add more information. We'll be able to tell them more on the recent development in the feed formulation industry and how they are going to reduce their waste, and we're going to incorporate those climate change progress. Yeah, because livestock industry is it's also responsible in contributing to the climate change. So we are going to enhance that into the app.
We normally have something we call barrier of entry, whereby the local farmers are at times ignorant in taking in new ideas and innovations. So this is maybe a well-advanced system. How do you ensure that that free-range farmer or a free-range poultry farmer has taken in this feed formulation idea and maybe scaled it into the future, as well the financial costs implication in that? Do you have any idea on that?
So let me address the financial cost. As I said, we are charging them through the subscription. So they'll be subscribing yearly or quarterly or after 6 months for them to reduce the cost of accessing like one feed formulation expert for one visit. So if they subscribe for an entire year, they'll be able to get regular visits. So we will be regularly visiting them and checking if they are implementing what we are telling them and the recent problems that they are facing. I hope I've answered the question.
You have not answered this other thing about ignorance.
Through regular visits, we will help instill the information that we are offered to them. Yeah.
Thank you. Panelist number 3, about soil testing application. Do you have access to the soil sensors, or how are we going to do about that?
Okay, thank you again. So, as I've told you, it's still an idea. For the soil sensors, we are opting for the cheapest, for the most affordable for our farmers. And we do not have access to them, but we know some that we can use. So if my idea can be actualized and our sponsors maybe can adapt to the idea, yeah, we can get funding to access the sensors.
What about building the capacity of the farmer before you give him or her this new idea?
Okay, building the capacity, it won't be very difficult since it will be easily adopted. We are giving the farmers what they can easily accept since they are more familiar with them. The only issue can be with the Digitech, that will include soil sensors. Interpretation will be a bit difficult, but we'll have people that will guide them. The extensional services, those are some of the partners that we wish to link up with to help in interpreting some of the data that will be inputted. For the other one, it won't be difficult since it's something they're familiar with, as I had stated earlier.
So again, do you have an expertise in soil testing?
Well, as I've told you, I'm a BSc Agriculture student. I know the basics, but I'll have to get partners for this, and one of them is a soil science expert.
The cost implication of this project is relatively high. Maintaining the sensors, obtaining the sensors, doing the soil testing, and as well communicating this data to the farmer in real time. That's a whole system. How is your budget?
Well, I've not drafted a budget yet, but I'm well aware of the high costs of this system. And I assure you it will be worth it since it's giving real-time data. That is something that we are banking for precise information at this modern age.
Projecting from the budget, that brings in the problem of scalability as well as sustainability, because if you cannot scale this idea to more and more farmers, it will be not sustainable. It will die in due time. So how are you going to address the issue of sustainability and scalability?
Well, the project wasn't built to die, as you've said. The issue of scalability, it is well scalable, since we can start from small farmers. Because we are cooperating with a lot of people in this, like the community, we can deal with a little amount of people that we can manage, so that we go to higher numbers. That way, we are not trying to conquer the whole thing at once, because it will be impossible. That's why we are saying it will die. We can start with a small number of people, just a small community, then we can go to other areas. That way it will be beatable.
Panelist number 4, you talk about farmers losing interest in this venture of farming. Do you have any data, or what was your source of this implication?
Yes, pardon your question, please.
You stated earlier that farmers are losing interest into farming ventures because of financial constraints and everything else. Do you have any tangible data that we can refer to?
Okay, yeah. I took some census and data collection in a village that is the coastal region in Magarini. So I was moving from one farmer to another, and I was trying to ask them some little question. Why is it that you people lose interest in farming, son? Then one is you get some responses that a person telling you that I used to farm whereby we were able to predict that weather, that April is the rain season. From this time, April, May, and June is the rain season in coastal, that area, that is Magarini sub-county. And then now rapidly there has been a lot of changes. So I find it having farming for 3 consecutive times and you get lower yields, it's better than I use my money to invest in other places. And then so I asked this, so you mean due to you don't have enough information about the changes of rain, or is because you have low yields? And say it's because the time you expect rain, it doesn't rain, and the time that you understand that it is not the right time for it to rain, it is raining. So I have the fear of doubt that when I'm going to plant it means that it is likely to die within the process, because I'm not sure that this is the rain season. And also we were visiting, personally I made a visit in Njoro. I was asking a farmer who planted some cabbages, and I say, so compared to the cabbages that you have this time and compared the cabbages that you've been producing over the recent 2 years, can you give me the yields production? And she told me that before I used to get more yields, but since that was 2022, 2022 and 2023, I was conducting that little research. And then she told me that recently, you see, there has been changes in rain season. In Njoro, we have never been having a drought season like the way we are having it now. That was 2022, get it from. So she said that means from the changes of the weather, the rain season have been getting low yields because you plant and then it rains at a little and then it stops immediately. So that means by the changes below, it makes me losing even interest in cabbages. And so I am thinking of quitting to do another product, but I don't know which product is likely to take over concerning the changes of weather.
So do we accuse the Kenya Meteorological Department for disseminating data that is not accurate about rainfall, or who should we point a finger to?
Actually, we should not accuse the Kenya Meteorological Weather because they are giving out the information, but the problem with us is that we don't have the information, we don't get this information. So the issue is we farmers, or the farmers, they don't get this information. Information is given right, but they don't get enough information. That means they will just do their farming depending on their traditional means of predictions of weather.
So do you agree to farmers' ignorance that we talked about earlier?
I don't agree about farmers' ignorance, but what I defend the farmers because the farmers are ready to farm, but their interest they lose their interest because they don't have someone to help them with the right information necessary required for them to do their farming. Which means if someone is going to give them with enough information, the right information, and if someone can show them the way on how to access this information, that means the farmers are not going to lose interest. But if nobody is going to volunteer or maybe empowered somewhere to empower also these farmers, then it means with the time the farmers are going to lose interest, and we shall also having stark problems in food security.
So again, what if we give the farmers the needed finance, because your problem is addressing farmers' finance? What if we give them the needed finance?
Even if we give the farmers the needed finance, actually some of them actually may possess may get the finance and do the right thing, but some of them may get the finance and they don't have the necessary knowledge about climate change information. So we need to get people expertise who they know about the issues of climate change to go and train these farmers in some groups. They can form some groups to educate these farmers that we recently have been having issues of climate change. So these crops used to do well during this time, but this time we need to make some changes. So they change their production. Maybe somebody was used to produce sorghum, so you can even educate these farmers because of climate change. Now change from sorghum to cabbages, because the cabbages or skuma, they are short term, and now we have short term rain. So if you produce skuma or cabbages, you will sell this skuma and the cabbages in the market, and you get capital, and this capital can help you get your food that you are supposed to eat, rather than giving the farmer the finance, but he or she doesn't have the knowledge. Then we shall be having a mess at the end.
That's not an expensive venture, whereby we are going to train these experts, throw them into the field, move them around, and maybe give them the grants, give them the loans and everything else. In the long term, we are going to spend much to produce maybe a single cabbage.
Okay. Relatively sound to be expensive, but not expensive. Why? Because we've said that we want to solve the problem of food insecurity, and this one is a long-term investment. Now if it's a long-term investment, then we need to create this information to be available. Maybe starting of the idea, it might sound quite expensive, but with the time it might sound to be relatively cheap, because if you educate someone, with the time that person may also take the knowledge to someone else without even any funding, and so by doing so it shall have solved the problem of him first, and then we shall also created information to someone else, thereby creating the generation to understand what we need to do, and with the time
this one, it will help. We are not going to use any funds anymore because people will be able to access this information easily because they are further, they have the idea, they understand what they're supposed to do, and so we don't need to use any funds anymore. But setting of the idea might sound to be expensive, but we need to root into that expensive idea because it is the only one that can make us solve this problem of food insecurity because the population keeps on growing and we need to feed the people. How are we going to feed these people? It sounds expensive, but now it's better, it's early, if we make it a route and we expand on it, then with the time, maybe a year or 2 years within the time, we shall have reduced the cost and so no cost shall be incurred anymore.
To panelist number 2, how is the idea linked to climate change and agriculture?
Okay, as said earlier, we have a model farm where we integrate simple drip irrigation. There is multi-story gardens, there is vertical gardens, and linking to Makueni County where it's a dry land, there is low rainfall. So when a farmer adopts the idea of having a model farm or a kitchen garden at his or her farm, we will be solving food insecurity. There is malnutrition, where most of children born in Makueni County tend to be underweight. So by planting indigenous vegetables like managu, the spider plants, we are going to solve the issue of malnutrition. Then the issue of climate change, as said earlier, we have the project of producing the seedling pots, and we are planting seedlings where we partner with schools, we plant trees, and we want to make Makueni a greener place. Then the trees planted tend to absorb the excess greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, then which lead to global warming. Yes.
So when you talk about planting indigenous vegetables like managu, these are vegetables that rely on water. What's your source of water first?
So in Makueni there is rivers. It's not that much dry. Then we have integrated with smart climate agriculture where we have solar pumps where we pump water from the rivers to our model farm.
Again, you say that you are planting trees within the schools and other maybe public areas. So I think that you are trying to provide shading and also boosting the tree cover in Makueni, but you are leaving out these farms open to the hot sun.
So we are advocating the issue of agroforest. So we train farmers to plant trees within their gardens. Then we also have the fruit seedlings like citrus fruits, avocados, where as much as we provide shade during at the farms, when you plant the citrus fruits or the avocados, it will provide shades to the other plants such as beans and maize. Then advocating the issue of climate change.
So how are you to avoid this issue of shading, whereby bigger trees are providing shade to smaller plants? Are you looking to some maybe specific tree species or?
So there is different systems where you plant the trees, you consider the direction of the sunlight. Then we have specialists where they train farmers on how to prune the overgrown trees.
You talk about training the farmers. Do you have these expert trainers, and what are the source of the data and information you are giving to the farmers?
So Lit Farm Consultancy Hub has various specialists. So, like me, I'm an agricultural economist. So, I play the part of agribusiness consultant. So, we have animal scientist, agronomist. Yeah, we have trained. We have gone for a training at Wote, Makueni County, where we were trained on the same.
About agroeconomy, is this project of yours sustainable in that the finance you put into it is equal to the output of the farmers?
Yeah, the project is sustainable. So we have poultry farm, and in poultry, we basically venture to chicken. We specialize in chicken, where we produce meat, where we partner with the restaurants and hotels. We sell them the eggs produced. Then the waste produced by the poultry, we use BSF, the black soldier fly, where the waste is turned into organic fertilizer, which is used in the model farm, the kitchen gardens. Then the kitchen garden, we tend to produce the organic vegetables, where we can sell to our customers, the local customers, our partners, the restaurants. Then on our homelands, there are the sacks, the wastes. We use the sacks to make seedling pots, the seedling sleeves, which are biodegradable. We want to advocate the issue of environmental pollution. There will be no waste. So at Lead Farm Consultancy Hub, waste is very useful. So there is no waste. We are advocating for the SDGs, the zero hunger, and there is no waste. Yeah.
And lastly, you talk about connecting the farmers and the farm produce to hotels and maybe other consumers in town. Do you have any data about how many farmers you've trained, how many consumers you have, or?
Yeah, there are. We have farm records. We have kept them.
So, given a chance to scale this idea outside Makueni, how will you do that?
So, after finding an investor or a partner, we can basically expand our networks to several. We can basically expand our networks to several counties. Since we are trained, we are specialists, and let's say the practical skills we have them. So it's just a matter of funding and just acquiring land for the demonstration farm. Then all will be set.
Another issue comes in about land tenure, whereby you are using maybe public land that is land for schools to put up your projects. How do you come up with this? Do you sign MOU, some agreements, or?
So if we partner with farmers, and it's just volunteering. You volunteer your land. There is no somewhere we are lending land, since financially we are not very much stable. It's just a matter of volunteering your land.
Thank you for the presentations. So again, our presentations may not be that clear to some of us. We're moving into the question session, whereby I want the audience to at least ask questions around the understanding of climate change and agriculture, the practicality of the solutions shared by our panelists, the creativity and the uniqueness, the specificity, scalability, sustainability, teamwork, and then long-term and short-term goals. If you feel that maybe any of those did not address those questions so well, this is your chance.
Anybody ready with a question, please?
Yes. I'll ask Diana a question in regard to Smart Soil 360. Basically, you want to improve the soil fertility using the organic way or using the knowledge which was before used by the ancestors, as said. So in regard with that, you will find that there are some of the knowledge or some of the practices which were formerly used in ages that has eroded by time. How are we able to venture into those agricultural practices that were used before so that we can improve the soil fertility? Second, in line with the use of the traditional ways to improve soil fertility, you understand that farming now is becoming a business. So how profitable is one traditional practice going to be, like use of lime or ash to improve soil fertility? How profitable is it going to be when a farmer practices such means and rather than using the inorganic fertilizer? Lastly, how viable is the traditional practices in Smart Soil 360 to a large-scale farmer? My last question shall go to Nashipai, who mentioned about feed formulation. Currently, our youths are becoming more innovative and are really taking up the scale in every field and really want to bring a change. I know majority of us do practice farming here. So as a young youth who may have a new feed formulation that have come up that is really circular, really climate, really contributing to climate smart agriculture and really safe for the environment, how will I be able to share that information to a great platform using your idea? And how will you be able to just ascertain that my idea is really viable economically, even in terms of expenditure and even in terms of its results when the farmers are going to use the yield performance from the animal? Thank you.
Let's take the round one questions. Panelist number one, please.
Thank you for the question. Okay, how to contribute to your idea, how you are going to bring the idea to this platform is by collaboration. As I said earlier, we're going to bring different feed formulation experts into this. So you'll be one among the feed formulation experts that I'm talking about. And for you to, how you're going to sell your idea through our platform is we are going to connect you to the local farmers, and then through that, since it will be our first time doing this, we are going to record the results, and by this we are going to sell the results and the idea to the rest of the farmers. That's how we are going to give you the platform. As I said earlier, this is a subscription model. So we are going, the mode of payment it's the app, us. We're going to pay the feed formulation expert, and you're going to sell us your idea. Yes. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Panelist number 4. Number 3.
Well, thank you. To answer my brother, how do I find the eroded information on the methods that were used earlier? Now, we've said I'll be partnering with okay, so personally I'm in a community CBO, and it is based on agriculture, so we are engaging more with the community people. We are engaging with the elders, those who are there. Information can't be eroded entirely. The practices can be eroded, yes. They can, people can stop doing it, but the information will still be there. And how can we find it? We can find it through our elders. Those people know much that we don't know, and it is unfortunate that it is not being carried down to our current generation, but the information is still there. So how profitable is it? Now, the inorganic chemicals, they are not, okay, they are easily available, and I can't say they are accessible. So for a farmer to access a chemical, which, by the way, I forgot to put, I was focusing on the small-scale farmers, yeah? And you find majorly these population are the aged. So if I am to adapt to something that was not there initially, like a chemical to control something or to moderate something in the soil, I will have to seek for guidance. And majorly they'll rely on the information they are given, which may be even false. It will take a lot of time. It is time wasting. I'll have to source for information on what to use on a certain problem, and it will cost me money. I'll have to buy it. And compared to the traditional practices, I'm using what I already have. It is readily available. I have ash. I plant chili, or it grows by itself. There are the extracts that I use. So it is cost effective. Now, how can it be valuable to someone who is practicing large scale? So we were incorporating this, but idealizing it in a modern way. We can use the real-time sensors to predict the pests and what have you. So the large-scale farmers can be able to know what kind of pests are going to attack my crops in a certain time, what is lacking in my soil, and what measures can I take. Also, they can apply something that, okay, for the limitations to a large-scale farmers is that some of the products that they'll use to control some of these pests or diseases may not be found in a large amount. And you find the major problem that, okay, the trend that I see for large-scale farmers, they plant one crop. So the activity that they can adopt that is traditionalized is crop rotation. That is one of them. You see. So we are also looking for ways that they can adapt to these traditional methods and apply them in a large scale. We have not covered the whole of it, but there are some that they can adapt to. Are you answered?
The second round of questions to panelists number 2 and number 4.
Oh, okay, I'm Dickens. I had a question direct to Michelle.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Michelle, you say like your idea is on feed formulation, right? So like basically it's worldwide. Worldwide. Because I heard you mention Australia first.
No. Okay. When I thought about this idea, it's about localized information. Okay. You see, when you go online right now to look about feed formulation advices, many they are tailored to the other countries. I mean, it's hard to find a feed advice tailored to East Africa or Kenya. So my app is we are going to focus on that. A farmer who is in Samburu, a farmer who is in Kajiado, Central Kenya, we are going to tailor that advice to those local region. Yes.
Okay, but so you know, these farmers, not all of them have smartphones, right? So like you say that they're going to build an app. An app requires you to have a smartphone. So basically what have you put in place? These farmers who doesn't have a smartphone, that they'll receive all the information. And do you have the skill, like building an app some apps require coding skills. Like what have you put in place to ensure all these people will receive the information? Yeah.
First, from what I want from this program is technical support to bring the app to life, right? One of the challenges we are facing is that not many farmers have access to smartphones, right? But for the few that have, we are going to help them install the app, and we are going to have the feed experts going there, and we'll ensure that they interact with the community around. I saw from this ideas, it has to be community centered. That's why I said the feed formulation expert will visit you and will ensure that the advice that they are giving will help the community around. So it's not a must for a farmer in Kajiado, come from Kajiado, a farmer in Kajiado South, if he or she has a smartphone, they are going to get real-time advice from that, right? And that advice will help share that with the next person if the other farmer does not have a smartphone. And then we are going to ensure the feed formulation expert, they give them a visit. I just hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, but you can use, I was thinking of an idea,
Yeah,
because not all these people have smartphones. So
Yeah.
what if I give an idea of sending them an SMS? Because even right now you'll be receiving SMS regarding the climate change in your phone. So basically you can use the SMS.
Thank you so much. Also, more ideas are welcomed.
A question to panelists number 2 and 4.
Thank you so much. Okay, I have a question. For the 4 panelists, both of you have just told us about your ideas, and you have not tackled on, okay, we were majorly focusing on climate change in agriculture. How are your ideas going to help us solve the climate change, and what problems do you want to solve with your ideas? Then to panelists 2 and 4, I will request like you be elaborate on your ideas and tell us strictly what like the problems you want to solve with your ideas. Thank you.
Let me help panelist number 4 to answer the second question about what he was doing. He was focusing on farmers' finance, whereby he was talking about sourcing finances to at least boost these farmers' projects wherever they are. So the main issue and problem to tackle was about finance, agriculture finance. You can take up the next question, panelist.
Okay. So in addition to whatever my brothers added on, I would also like to add on, I has talked about finance being the major problem, but as well as we can talk on the information. Finance being the problem, also we need to have the information. And the information need to be right information, not just information, but the right information. So these farmers lack the right information. So if they lack the right information, we need to educate them. So the problem is that they don't have the finance. That is number 1 problem. Number 2, they don't have the education to get the right information. So that one is also another problem. So we or if I join hands with you, I will make sure that we empower the farmers with the right information necessary to combat the issue of climate change. Recently, we have talked about climate change
it started some years, but people came to realize it just with recent years soon. So, meaning if people could have been educated earlier before that we shall be having issues of the changes in weather patterns, then these farmers maybe they could not have lose their yields or their products. Because like, can you imagine of issues concerning floods? You know, floods is issues on climate change. It is erratic caused by climate change, because some places whereby over the years it has never been experienced any floods, recently it has been experiencing floods. So that means if a person or a farmer from that local has been educated that we are likely to, or has been informed that there is likely to be a flood in this in this area, maybe he or she could have prepared him or herself about the product he or she has in the farm. So we, in one way or the other, by educating that farmer, we shall have solved the problem of lack of right information. Get it?
Yes, I do. But for you, okay, under which strategy are you planning to carry out that? Are you planning to have trainings to the farmers, like face-to-face meeting, or are you also planning to have an app?
Oh, thank you. We, in Kilimo Hall, we had the launch of CASA, that is Kenya Agricultural Student Association. So we were encouraged, all of us, that we come from different backgrounds and from different regions and countries. So if we take this one as the main objective, we are the person out of the people supposed to educate our people in the villages. If you take it personally to educate someone in the village that I know you are good at planting maize, but now we understand recently we have issues of climate change. So I will advise you shift from maize farming to beans farming. You know, by you taking it personal to give out this information face to face, you sound to be the only person, but deep down you are not the only one person having giving out that information. Because if you personally took it with a lot of mentorship and motivating this farmer, the same farmer will take the information to his or her friend somewhere, and that friend will also take the information to somewhere. That means we are spreading out the knowledge, the information that is required. By doing so, then we, not even a decade, but a short time, we shall have give much information to many people without even using much, but just the first taken positivity of your own. You took it as a drive that you want to change the society, you want to change the village. It may lead even to changes to more. Remember, once you get full product, you get good products, people have the ideas or the interest of posting their products. Let me post, I have been producing maize in large quantity and I need the market. So someone posts that I'm selling maize at these prices, you know, and then someone views in this status say, how did you get this maize? Then the person say, I was educated by a lady somewhere, so and so. And then so this person gave you the information, yes, how? And so he or she gives him one or two information. By doing so, that information keeps on improving and spreading. With the time, we shall create more and more information to most people by just having the motivation personally.
Question to panelist number 2.
Okay, on matters on climate change, we integrate climate smart agriculture. We have multi-story garden and we are innovating them. We are not using the expensive materials to make the multi-story garden. We use bricks and stones, and they are cheaper to construct, and they require less skills. So on the smart irrigation, we have simple drip irrigation, and we are advocating not to use the crude oils like petrol, like diesels. So we have the solar pumps where we use the natural light, the sun, and on the matters of waste management, we want to solve the issue of environmental pollution where we use biodegradable materials. And so on planting the seedlings, we want to curb the issue of global warming. By planting more trees, we want to capture more carbon dioxide which is on the air, so that we can reduce the issue of global warming. Yes.
One last question, only one question.
Excuse me, my name is Hilary Mwandi, and if you will allow me, my question just goes to Michelle, if you don't mind. Michelle, you've just talked about app. I don't know how it will be called, but my question goes this way, just a simple question. How is the app scalable across different regions and types of livestock?
I said that this is an idea. We are still in ideation stage. Okay, so we'll have different feed formulation experts visit these other counties. What I'm trying to do is, as I said, localized information, localized advice. So we'll have them visit these different counties, and we'll get the problems. We'll have the information on the problems these livestock farmers are facing, and then we are going to come up with how we can help them, right? And we'll have the right information on how to help them. Then we are going to have this app. We're going to launch this app. We'll go back again to them, and we are going to give them the advice and how they can join the app so that they can gain the advice all year round, as I said. Also, to add, what we are going to have on this app is digital farm records. So if, okay, let me say as an example, if a dairy farmer is feeding the dairy cows this amount of feeds, that is the cost. They are going to see how the cost is. If it's profitable to them, if the venture is profitable to them, then we can give advice on that. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question session. So many questions are touching on so common things. Okay, the last one.
Hello everyone, I'm Kasim from Kisii. I have a question to Michelle, okay? Okay. You have come up with an idea, but you have not told us the name of the app, how we will access this your app at first time. For example, I'm from Kisii. How will I get your app when I'm in Kisii, right? So maybe you can give me an answer from there. Then to the fourth panelist, you said that you mentioned a number of things, that climate change has led to unpredictable rainfall, prolonged droughts, and declining soil fertility, which threaten food security for local farmers. Now, as a young innovator, climate innovator, what practical idea will you introduce to help local farmers to adapt to these challenges with promoting sustainable agriculture and environmental conservation?
Panelist number one first.
Okay, I've gotten this question twice now. So the name I'm thinking of, Feed Right. Okay, I'm still trying to come up with a suitable name for it, where you can get our app, Play Store, App Store. I'm still yet to come to that. You're from Kisii, right? We'll have as I said, we're going to send feed formulation expert to Kisii. Then we are going to look at the local resources around Kisii. We are going to look at the exact problem dairy farmers, poultry farmers are facing as far as feeds availability and feed availability is concerned, as far as the feed formulation feed problems that the livestock farmers are facing, then we'll go back to the drawing board. We are going to come up with solutions. Then we are going to integrate that solution, this information to the app. Then we are going to send the feed formulation expert back again to Kisii, and we are going to introduce you guys to the app. Then you are going to download the app, and then we are going to offer regular visits and helping you integrate our information, our solutions to your farm directly through us. So, as I said again, we are going to have subscription model where we are going to, for you to access our app, you have to pay a certain amount, a small fee, then you're going to access that information. I hope I've answered that.
Okay, right, but because you are starting up, how I wish that you give us promotion on how to access that your app, okay? So that maybe if I go back there, I can maybe bring in my farmers, telling them that we have promotion about this app, something like that. Then this guy mentioned that if you want to access the app, apart from the app, you can use SMS. I also bring another new idea that maybe you can use a link. For example, I found a link from this my phone, then I reach this place. Otherwise, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I hope from this program I get technical support from Quailib for us to actualize that idea, and we'll give you a promotion to take back to Kisii and promote us. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Concerning the question my brother posed, it's a nice question. Yeah, we have to think about the roots. Where did the climate change started? The cause root. Because we are talking about climate change, but we have to think of the cause root of climate change. Now, if you deep down look out the causes of climate change, one of it is about, it has been caused by the destruction of the natural biodiversity. Due to the destruction of natural biodiversity, we have climate change. That is a cause, one way of the cause of climate change. So you talk about how do we make it a long term and how do we make sure we help the people. First of all, we people, if people are going to be educated about the issue of the climate change, then it means we can use issues like agroforestry. Agroforestry is whereby we planting of trees. If you plant a tree today, that tree is going to be, it is going to take time for a long period of time to survive within. Now, if that tree survive within, then that one you are making the nature or the environment to be beauty. Despite the fact you are making the environment to be beauty, the nature itself improves itself to bring the, I've said earlier that most farmers depend on the rain-fed agriculture. Is it? So if they depend on the rain-fed agriculture, we understand that forestry or tree are the rain-fed. They are also one cause of bringing rain. So if we plant these trees for a long time and encourage most people to plant their trees in places whereby they are just, we have land degradation areas or land that are unused. If we plant some trees in these areas, then that it means with the time, that places, maybe it used to be drought for seasons, but now because we have more forest in that area, rain is likely to fade into that area. So it's a climate change because it used to be drought before, but now we planted some trees. Now you see there is some rain, and if there is some rain, people can do their farming. Again, farmers have talked, most people, they don't have knowledge about issues of GMOs, genetically modified organism, or the seeds even. Now, these issues of genetically modified, it's an issue that most people will deny. Even the government itself, it came into not even a forum of discussion, whereby do they accept about GMOs or do they not, or not to accept. And you can see, if you have enough information, or if you deep down looking about these GMOs is one of the best way to handle climate change issues, to combat climate change issues, because you used to have Katumani. Katumani is the variety of maize. This one used to take place for maybe for 4 months for it to be ready to be harvested. Now, in genetically modified seeds, they combine some varieties of maize,
And then if they combine this, they come with a more modified one that can take even 2 months. And in places whereby it used to rain for 4 months, but now it rains for only 2 months, you take that genetically modified seeds to that area so that they can use that seed to handle the issue of climate change. Because we used to Katumani, but Katumani require rain of 4 months. But now we have a modified one that can take only for 2 months. By doing so, you solve the problem of climate change. Conserving the environment itself, the nature, industries are emitting a lot of carbon gases within, and if they emit these carbon gases within, they also disrupt the weather. Maybe it was supposed to rain, but it's not going likely to be rain. So the issue of industry also, if you locate your industry, you have to understand the people or the government to come into, for you to set an industry somewhere, you have to make sure that your industry will not pollute the environment, like in Njoro Canning, to make sure it won't pollute the environment, because if it pollutes the environment, if it emits a lot of carbon gases, that means the climate within is likely to be changed, and by doing so, you shall have affect many farmers within the local of Njoro. But if that person is educated, also the one setting up the industry, he will understand the correct measures on how to set up that industry and about the wastage, the waste that he or she is going to be producing that company, where are supposed to be deposited, so that we don't affect the natural environment, and by doing so, the climate change issues shall be solved. Thank you.
That was more than enough explanation. Thank you to those who asked the questions. I hope they are well answered. So moving on, this has been a very wonderful presentation and a very wonderful combination whereby we have a finance and data expert, we have a soil tester, we have an agroforester, we also have another person on the end with the feed, knowledge on feed production. So I think if these panelists were to be one team, they could do it better, because we have feeds for our livestock, we have agroforestry and market strategies, as well as what we call pilot farms. We have an expert in testing the soil and bringing out the data from the farm into a localized system. We also have data and finance to curb all these problems. So moving on, the student-led agri-tech innovations for a resilient future, which was our theme from the first, is coming to realization, whereby different ideas are being presented. From our last panel discussion and today's discussion, I can tell that we are moving somewhere. Our innovators as well lacked some few technicalities here and there, but I think through our mentorship, we can do that and boost them as well. The key guidelines are very key to look into. Many of us are moving out of that because from the questions, from the presentations, I can tell that we are messing up somewhere. Until next time, our audience, you are also welcomed. We shall meet in another phase whereby we are going to mentor all of us, not only the 4 of us, but to the entire team who applied to this Campus Agri-Tech Climate Innovation Challenge. This challenge will take 1 month or so, and then we'll end it up with a summit within the school. So until then, please continue boosting and make sure at least you have a proposal. Even if it's at the ideation stage, it will help you put your idea into paper so that it can be easier to present. When you see this paper, you see the problem you're going to address, it becomes easier more than when it is only an idea maybe existing in your mind. Moving on, I don't have much other than to congratulate everyone who made this challenge and today's session a success. Thank you so much.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi. We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Let the speakers move.
Go!